Good morning, guys. Once again, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Sorry, please do understand that I'm not a politician. I do not have deep knowledge in politics. However, I am a South African citizen who's also a voter, and I do believe that my views count when it comes to political affairs of South Africa. So MK was there because, they are the official opposition, as Dr. John Hlophe reminded us. Here we're going to hear him here in this video. So now also the person that was not there is former President Jacob Zuma, and the views there are clashing. The views of Manyi and those of Dr. Hlophe are clashing. Dr. Hlophe said, no, we cannot be in a haste and be saying such things that the judiciary did it on purpose. And Manyi is out there and saying, no, they did it on purpose. They did it on purpose because they dislike former President Jacob Zuma. And as well, we noticed that Hlophe was not there. He put up a post on X indicating that, we were at Pietermaritzburg court because former President Jacob Zuma was appearing there. So, So I'm going to be sharing video clips here for you to see that of Manyi, Dr. Hlophe, who else? The MK dancing as you see them there, and those one of Nhlamulo Ndlela reacting to Sona as well as Papa Penny. So I'm going to allow you to watch those, and I'll be back with more commentary right at the end.
Well, Clement, I think we need to confirm and also correct that we can't say there's no one who ever comes. All heads of state get invited. Deputy presidents who are no more serving deputy president of the country get invited. Former speakers get invited. And all of them, depending on their own circumstances, they will respond to Parliament. And they've responded to confirm their participation. But where there may be unforeseen circumstances that might require that a person does not come, they will tender their apology. Even last year, we did receive an apology. And you note that President Zuma, in the debate of the Sona, he was present. So I think it's important for us also not to read too much on some of these things as members of society, because there may be circumstances beyond anyone's control that might require a change of step at a particular time.
So that means the former President Jacob Zuma has confirmed to be coming tonight.
Former President Mbeki, former President Zuma, former President Kgalema Motlanthe, Deputy President Mabuza, they've all confirmed they are coming tonight.
Let's
definitely deliberate, because this date was advertised last year already. So the judiciary would have known about this date, but they didn't care because they don't care about President Zuma. In fact, if it was up to this judiciary, it should still be in jail and all of that. So indeed, they continue to show resentment for President Zuma. Big event happening today. You would have thought that if we had an arm of the state that is sensitive to the agenda of the country, they would ensure that they accommodate a national event like this.
Hasting against making irresponsible statements, I assume the court date was set long before Sona. That's my assumption. There's no suggestion that it was done maliciously.
So is he going to be here perhaps for the debate?
Yes, he will definitely be here next week.
Okay.
Hlophe from the Umkhonto weSizwe Party, your key takeaways from the State of the Nation address?
Well, it was boring, to be frank with you, uninspiring. One expected quite a lot from someone who's the head of state. For me personally, and I've shared this with comrades from Umkhonto weSizwe, I thought the president's starting point was going to be to give us an update on the promises that were made last year in the State of the Nation address. He identified 3 priorities: poverty, inequality, and housing. He didn't deal with any of those at length. We know poverty. is worse than ever it was before. Every day when you walk in South Africa, robot-controlled intersection, you see a lot of people who are hungry, who are homeless, who have nowhere to stay. So poverty is worse than it ever was before. Mr. Ramaphosa made no mention of that. He's talking about an ideal nation. In other words, a united South Africa, united in diversity. No attempts whatsoever are being made by the government of Cyril Ramaphosa to eradicate racism. It's 30 years in the making. It's the black people who are the victims of racism in this country. He doesn't talk about the land. The land is critical to us in addressing poverty and inequality. To him, obviously, that's a non-issue. Last year, finally, in the State of the Nation, Mr. Ramaphosa said 25% of the land has been brought back to black people as part of the land redistribution program. That is not true. 1.9% of the land is in private hands. That includes Palapal.
Thank you very much for your time, Dr. John Hlophe there, who is from the Umkhonto weSizwe Party.
You only have to read the act very carefully. There is no such thing as expropriation of land without compensation. As long as you have Section 25 of the Constitution, that's where the problem is. Remember, the Constitution is supreme law, so any law, and I've no doubt they're going to challenge this legislation, it doesn't do much. It's a cosmetic change. It's a very deceitful concept of nil compensation. We want expropriation of land without compensation. In other words, Section 25 of the Constitution must go in its entirety.
Are there any things that can be celebrated by South Africans, ordinary South Africans, for the past 30 years?
There isn't much. Certainly for black people, we are still on the receiving end. Racism is a salient factor every day. It doesn't affect whites. It doesn't affect other South Africans. In the main, it's the black people who are the victims of racism. We would like certainly to see more and more measures being taken to address racism, because it's the black people of this country who are the victims of racism.
Dr. Hlophe, maybe just talk to us.
Well, we came here, I came with writing material because I was hoping to take copious notes, sit down, listen, because remember, MK is an official opposition. Alas, we're hugely disappointed. The speech was hugely disappointing. It was hollow and totally uninspiring. The president, for example, speaks with reference to borrowing billions of rands to develop infrastructure. Our considered view as the MK party, it's all very well to speak about borrowing money. The question is, where is money going to be coming from? Where do we borrow the money from? If it's taken from the West, institutions like IMF and World Bank, they have a history of imposing stringent conditions, right, which hinder development of third world countries or developing countries. The devil is in the detail. He should have told us where money is going to be coming from. We hope as the MK, money will be borrowed from BRICS, because we are part of BRICS and we are proud of being part of BRICS, right? Furthermore, the other problem with borrowing too much money, the ANC has a history of looting the resources. We know that. There is no assurance that money which is being borrowed will actually be used for the purpose for which that money was borrowed. Right.
Firstly, this so-called GNU realistically excludes 25% of the electorate. That's a fact. So firstly, that then tells you that this is not a government of national unity. It doesn't serve the marginalized interest, and then effectively 25% of the people are not represented in that speech. I've said that if you look at our population in terms of how it's growing, looking at the socio-economic factors, we're growing at 1.3% year on year. But yet, we have negative growth of GDP per capita. That means, in effect, that South Africans are getting poorer and poorer and poorer under this man. And it's going to be worse under this GNU. Because we know that this is a GNU, or so-called government of national unity, which is being rejected by the electorate. Every single one of them have been rejected. And so it's a conglomerate, because we know that the formation of it was for protecting Cyril off the back of business. Helen Zille confirmed it, that there is no GNU. It's a DA-led coalition. So this is just a reflection of a business case based on policies from white monopoly capital that's aimed at ensuring that they benefit. That's why they go and put their minister in public works and then go and give a ticket, a grey check, a blank check of 950 billion rand for infrastructure. Kids still don't have access to school to school. Kids don't have access to classes. Today, there's 42% joblessness in this country. So people in this country under this, and it's going to be worse under this so-called GNU, I can tell you that. It's going to be totally worse because they have no ideas, they have no understanding, and there's a total dichotomy of policies. As you can see, they're continuously bickering and fighting instead of focusing on service delivery. And this is the biggest challenge. What we need to do here, we need to agitate for the right, real ANC members, the real leaders of the ANC, not this white monopoly capital man, who want to see organic change. And they must come and sit with us, undo this GNU, come and engage with EFF and MK, and then we form a formidable government that is reflective and that can resonate with the people of this country, not what you're seeing in there.
Sabulo, the spokesperson of the official opposition in Parliament, it does seem that the Umkhonto weSizwe party is not impressed by the State of the Nation address by President Ramaphosa, and it seems like it's going to be quite a difficult year as Umkhonto weSizwe, by the sounds of it, will be taking the government of national unity, or rather holding them accountable.
Look, tonight will be addressed by a man with blood in his hands. 14 of our dear lives of our young people that have been wasted in the DRC, whose lives could have been spared if there were proper leadership here. So we're going there as an aggrieved nation, as it were. South Africa was told that the people are going there on a peace mission. We thought that people are going there with a white flag. Disciplined soldiers know that when you have a white flag, it's a no-shoot zone. We're not told that there's some kind of a civil war that we might participate in, and without even the right hardware to even do it with. So indeed, this was a decision, an inept decision that was done by Mr. Ramaphosa and Jimutsecha, and they must pay for it. We are saying, as the MK party, that Mr. Ramaphosa must actually step down because of this nonsense happening in DRC, together with the Minister of Defense. You want him? No, look, I think it's important that we just say things for what they are. Firstly, Trump is a nationalist. Trump is looking for what is in the best interest of America. So that's what he's doing. In fact, if Mr. Ramaphosa could take the Trump approach, South Africa will be in a better off position. We have a situation here. Trump is doing everything to further the interest of America. So that's what he does. You mustn't take it personal. He's just looking after his country. Now South Africa must look after South Africa, but that's not happening. We're taking our minerals, we're sending them out of the country for 2 cents and so on. We're plunging our people into poverty. So we have, we just have non-leaders in leadership positions in this country. That's what we have. So you can't blame Trump for his own decisions. He's just looking after his country. I don't blame him for looking after his country. I blame our leaders here who can't use our mineral wealth, who can leverage our mineral wealth for the best interest of South Africa. How can an America, a Europe that hasn't got the kind of minerals we have here, how can those people threaten us with anything? They depend on us. When they make their projections about how many cars they're going to build, they depend on our iron ore. When they make projections about anything, they depend on our minerals for their own industrial purposes. Now we've got leaders here that have not understood this simple equation. And then you blame other people for making their decisions. I don't blame America one bit. I blame the idiocy that is at the leadership in this country.
Are you suggesting South Africa should stop shipping minerals to?
It's always a scratch song, What we are going to hear here is the same scratch song. It's not happening, because What he's going to say is what he used to say every year. To me, I just come as an MP for MK, but there's nothing new that he's going to tell us today, the president.
Well, President, Mr. Jacob Zuma is not attending. Are you disappointed?
It's not because of I'm disappointed. He doesn't want to sit and listen to the marvelous speech. He doesn't want to listen a gambling speech. You know, our president is a very straight man, right?
And Papa Penny comes out to say, you know what, it's a scratch song, same thing every time we are here, nothing different there. And Jimmy Manyi is saying, you know what, Donald Trump must not be blamed. We must not blame Donald Trump, must blame our leaders, because Donald Trump is a nationalist, is taking care of Americans. Yes, I agree with Jimmy Manyi there. My only problem with Donald Trump is when him and his Elon Musk are going around the world demonizing South Africa, saying all sorts of things about South Africa, like false, with falsehood, demonizing us with falsehood. That, it upsets me. I don't even know if there's anything that upsets me this year, it is that thing of South Africa and Donald Trump, Free Forum and Elon Musk. You see that? It's going to drive me up the wall. And also, I like what Judge Hlophe did there. Though their views are clashing, his views and Jimmy Manyi's views now look like they are clashing, and they are from the same party. They are the leaders of the same party. You see, that's what we would like to see, the reasoning. The speaking, when people speak from not a place of wanting to push a certain narrative, but a place of addressing issues. You see? Like real issues, like former President Jacob Zuma is not here, and we don't think it's the judiciary, because you see, he spoke very well. I liked that. And then also Ntlamulo shared his views. So MK, yeah, they do know that they are the opposition, the official opposition. So, but I don't know, man. I don't know why their views were clashing there. I don't know why their views were clashing there. Some people were also saying Hlophe is not there because he's like, he has to be dragged around when former President Jacob Zuma, the president of MK, says, don't go there because I'm not going, and Floyd must not go. He must be following former President Jacob Zuma. But he still looks happy. I saw the photos from Pietermaritzburg and a few video clips here and there. I saw them. So he looks pretty happy still with the MK. So whatever issues are there, I think they are coping very well with them. So anyway, guys, whatever views you have, kindly share them in the comment section. And also thank you for watching my videos, guys. And the next time you bump into my videos, kindly watch my ads in full. It really goes a long way. Do have a beautiful weekend.